Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new Pokemon TCG video. So right off the bat guys, I want to apologize for the lack of videos within the past couple of days. I mean, the main reason has been that I had been focusing on my exams and I finally finished them on Friday. But as soon as I finished them guys, I got very sick. I still have a sore throat right now. So my apologies if my voice sounds awful. I'm going to be doing a very brief and quick review of this type of deck because I don't want you guys to be hearing my annoying voice throughout the entire duration of the video. I mean, I don't want the video to be too long, so you guys don't have to hear my overbearingly annoying voice. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go right ahead and dig into the deck review. So we're going to be focusing on using the Weavile as our main Pokemon. We're going to be focusing on using his Vilify attack. And I do want to apologize if my voice gets really bad throughout the duration of the video guys. Again, that's because I am sick, so please do bear with me. Hopefully as soon as I get better, I'll be able to release much more higher audio quality based videos. Okay, so I'm getting back to the videos. Getting back to the deck, so we're going to be focusing on using the Weavile with its Vilify attack. So pretty much it's going to allow us to do 30 damage for every Pokemon that we actually discard from our hand. So the more Pokemon that we actually discard, the more damage we're actually going to be doing with our Weavile. So right off the bat, this Pokemon has a lot of synergy with our Exeggcute. We're going to be focusing on using the Exeggute's propagation ability to draw them out from our discard pile and back into our hand, use the Vilify, and repeatedly keep doing that in a more or less a never-ending sort of cycle. So to try and get our Exeggcutes into our discard pile nice and early, we're going to be focusing on using a couple of battle compressor cards. This card is going to be very crucial with respects to helping us get set up nice and early. So we are going to be running the max number of battle compressors that we actually can. So 4 copies in this deck. I mean, if you guys want to turn it down to 3, I would say that you would be giving up a lot of the consistency in this deck. So I would highly recommend not doing that. But again, it's ultimately your choice. So we are going to be focusing on running a total of 4 battle compressors in this type of deck. And also to increase the damage output of our Weaviles, we are also going to be running 4 Deoxys EX with its power connectability. It's going to allow us to dish out an additional 10 damage per Deoxys EX that's actually in our bench. So we are going to be running 4. So with that damage stack, we'd automatically right off the bat be doing a total of 160 damage if we had our bench fully loaded with Deoxys EX, and if we had 4 Exeggcutes. So I mean, 160 damage, I mean, you guys can think, oh, that's not enough to actually perform the one-hit knockout on our opponent's EX Pokemon, and you're absolutely right. So that's where the Silver Bangle actually comes in handy. So Silver Bangle is going to allow us to dish out an additional 30 damage, absolutely more than enough to get rid of any non-Mega EX Pokemon. So we're pretty much going to be performing one-hit knockouts in most instances as soon as we actually do have our bench and our Exeggcutes set up nice and early into the game. So we are going to be running a total of 2 copies of Silver Bangle. I definitely feel like this is a much better card to run with respects to this deck as opposed to the Muscle Band, so that's why I've ultimately decided to run Silver Bangle. Some other cards that we're going to be discussing, guys, I'm going to skip over the supporter cards. I mean, I've definitely discussed these cards more than enough for you guys, and I'm going to skip over the Ultra Balls and the VS Seekers. So I'm going to go into the sort of meat and bones into this type of deck. So we're going to be running 1 Colress Machine. The Colress Machine is going to allow us to grab a Plasma Energy from our decks and attach them to one of our Team Plasma Pokemon, so either Weavile or Deoxys EX. So it's definitely going to help us with respects to sort of speeding up the rate of energy attachment to our Pokemon. So I definitely feel like it's a nice card to run. So we are going to be running 1 copy of that. Of course, since we're running a Colress Machine, we are going to be running a total of 2 copies of Team Plasma Energy. We're also going to be running the Dowsing Machine as our Ace Pack card. I definitely feel like this is a better Ace Pack card with respects to this deck as opposed to the Computer Search. I mean, this is just because we have a lot of trainer cards that I think are very important, such as the Battle Compressor. The Colress Machine might come in very handy in the game as well, in case we want to again be able to set up our Pokemon, say, in a single turn as opposed to taking 2. And also quite more importantly is going to be the Starling Megaphone card that we may actually need to fetch out from our discard pile, given the fact that if we actually do get a Garbodor type matchup, Starling Megaphone is going to be very crucial in allowing our Pokemon to use their abilities once again, because our deck very heavily revolves on us actually being able to use our abilities. So starting Megaphone, definitely a very useful and important card to have in this deck. So we are going to be running a total of 2 copies of that. We're also going to be running a total of 2 Team Plasma Balls. It's going to allow us to search for Team Plasma Pokemon and then bring them out into the field. So namely speaking, we're going to look for either our Deoxys EXs or our Weaviles. Definitely some nice cards that we are actually running in this deck. So Team Plasma Ball is going to come in very handy, and of course we want to increase the chances of us actually getting our Pokemon, so that's why I've ultimately decided to run Team Plasma Ball as opposed to the Pokemon Fan Club, because you don't want to be wasting our supporters each turn on using those, even though, I mean, Pokemon Fan Club does ultimately allow us to grab out 2 Pokemon. Team Plasma Ball I definitely feel is a better card to run in this deck, respectively speaking. Some other cards that we're actually going to be running as well, I mean, this is pretty basic in general, so I am not really going to go over this, but I am going to discuss why we're actually running the 2 Rainbow Energies. So the main reason that we're actually going to be running the Rainbow Energies is pretty much to allow our Deoxys EX to actually be useful. We don't want them to be useless. I mean, again, our Weaviles are absolutely going to be the main attackers in this deck, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Deoxys EX won't come in handy, especially say if we're facing a Mewtwo EX or anything like that. So 2 Rainbow Energies, that's the purpose we're actually running them, and we're also going to be running a total of 8 Darkness Energies. So that's pretty much the basic deck breakdown, guys. So with that being said, I'm going to go right ahead and use this bad boy in battle. But I do want to say that I feel like this deck is more so of a fun type of deck as opposed to a competitive type of deck, so hopefully we perform well. I mean, if we lose, we shouldn't take it too harshly, because I sort of built this deck for fun, and I definitely don't think it has the competitive potential that it once had, but I still think it's going to be, just generally speaking, a very fun deck for us to use. Okay, so it looks like right off the bat we're going to go and start off with the Sneasel, so I'm going to go right ahead and bring him out as our starting Pokemon. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance. Okay, so it looks like our opponent's going to be running a Verzian EX, Genesect EX type of deck, so okay, that's not too bad. I'm going to go right ahead and use the attached Rainbow Energy to our Sneasel, and then I'm going to go and use the N. Hopefully we're able to, actually, I'm going to go and use the Skyla and grab out an Ultra Ball. I feel like that might be a better decision right now, so let's go right ahead and use that Ultra Ball, give up our Colress and an N, and then I'm going to go right ahead and grab out another Sneasel and put him into our bench. And then I'm going to go right ahead and end our turn. I mean, another choice that I could have actually done was use the Skyla to actually grab out a Battle Compressor. I mean, that could have been another viable option, but I feel like right now I just want an extra bench Pokemon just in case our opponent actually does manage to knock us out in a single turn, which I mean is definitely possible, especially given how quickly our Pokemon tend to get their energy attachments to them now, and they just pump out a lot of damage nice and early into the game. So it's always very nice to have those bench Pokemon. And okay, so also guys, I really want to apologize in case my voice starts to sound awful as we're going through the game, just because again, I'm relatively sick, so please do bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna go right ahead and grab out a Weavile and evolve our bench Sneasel, and then I'm gonna go right ahead and use the N and draw out a new set of cards at hand. Hopefully we're able to grab out a Battle Compressor, but unfortunately we're not able to grab one out just yet. So I'm gonna go right ahead and place the Deoxys EX to our bench, and then the Sneasel, and then I'm gonna go right ahead and attach our Sneasel with a Darkness Energy, and with that we're going to go and end our turn. Hopefully we're able to grab out the Exeggcute, because that's where we're actually going to be able to deal out a lot of damage. I mean, until we actually don't have the Exeggcutes at hand, we're not really going to be able to do much, but again, this deck is built for us to get the Exeggcutes into our discard pile, so I absolutely think that if I do use the Professor Juniper in our next turn, we should be able to get the Exeggcutes into our discard pile, or at least in our hand, so that we can dish out that damage. So I am actually going to go and attach the Plasma Energy to our Sneasel, really in the hopes that I think we're going to actually be able to grab out another Weavile. So I'm going to go right ahead and do that. And let's see, would a Colress be a better choice? No, so I'm going to go right ahead and use the Juniper. And okay, it looks like we are able to grab out a Weavile, so that's nice. And just one Execute at hand. Unfortunately, that's not enough, so our Execute would only be able to dish out a total of 40 damage right now. I feel like Deoxys EX would definitely be a better choice in terms of placing him down in our bench as opposed to discarding him, so we're going to go right ahead and do that. I'm going to go and use the Team Plasma Ball to again grab out another Weavile. Definitely want to get our Sneasel line set up nice and early because these are again going to be the main attackers of our deck. So with that, let's go right ahead and use the Vilify attack. Unfortunately, it's only going to be doing 30 damage right now. We're getting very, very unlucky with the battle compressors, but sorry, 50 damage because we do actually have the other Deoxys EX, but we're getting very, very unlucky. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to draw into any of our battle compressors just yet, but it's okay. We do have one of our Executes in our discard pile already, and we'll be able to repeatedly use his propagation just to allow us to dish out a lot of damage. So it really shouldn't be bad. I mean, as soon as our deck actually does get going, it's going to start hitting for a lot of damage. Hopefully we'll be able to actually knock out the Manectric EX during our opponent's next turn, and hopefully we're able to win the game. So let's just see what this deck is capable of doing. Our opponent's overrun attack is quite annoying, but luckily our Weavile is able to survive it. I'm gonna go right ahead and attach the Darkness Energy to our Weavile. Would 2 Deoxys EX be enough? 160. Yeah, if I do actually grab out a Silver Bangle. So let's go right ahead and place another Sneasel right here, and then I'm gonna go and use the Juniper for a new set of cards at hand. Perfect. Looks like we're actually able to draw onto our last battle compressor. So let's go right ahead and discard these other Executes. Hopefully none of them are actually benched. Okay, so that's 2 Executes, and we're looking for just one more. Unfortunately, it does look like it's actually benched. I'm going to get rid of one other battle compressor as well. I don't really foresee it being all that crucial in our deck, so let's go right ahead and do that. 100 and okay, so I'm gonna go right ahead and attach the Silver Bangle to our Weavile, and I'm going to go right ahead and start using propagation. So let's go and bring out a couple of Executes back into our hand. Hopefully we're actually able to grab one from our discard pile, and let's go and use the Vilify attack for I don't know how much damage, but it should be more than enough. And let's go and get rid of that Manectric EX and draw a total of 2 prize cards. Okay, so that's very nice. Our other Weavile is already nicely loaded up and ready to go, so we're just going to go and load up our benched Weaviles as well, and hopefully we're going to be able to repeatedly perform one-hit knockouts. Luckily, we are actually able to shuffle up our hand and actually draw out another Darkness Energy, so that's definitely nice. Unfortunately, our Weavile is going to be knocked out this turn, but it's okay. We do have the other Weavile, and our setup is going pretty strong right now, so I definitely do think that we have a pretty good chance of winning in this deck unless our opponent pulls something completely unexpected and is actually able to win this game. So let's go right ahead and attach a Darkness Energy to our Weavile and place the other Deoxys EX into our bench just so that we can increase the damage of our Vilify attack. Let's go right ahead and grab out some Executes. So as you guys can see, this deck is running quite smoothly right now. We didn't exactly have the greatest start just because it took us a bit of time getting the battle compressors, but it looks like we're running very, very strongly right now. So let's go right ahead and knock out that Tropius, and hopefully we're actually able to grab out our final Execute. That would definitely be nice, and unfortunately we're not, but it's okay. I feel like these 3 are more than enough, and if I have to, I'll absolutely give up the Jirachi EX as well. But thanks to our Deoxys EXs, we are actually able to deal out an additional 30 damage, so that's absolutely very, very nice. And I'll be able to power up our Weavile next turn unless our opponent actually ends us, and again we'll be able to perform the one-hit knockout again. So okay, so looks like our opponent is actually going to bring out his Verzine EX. So and he's actually going to use the Lysander's trump card. Okay, so not exactly the greatest situation for us right now. I may have to use our Jirachi EX to possibly grab out a Colorus or a Professor Juniper next turn. Hopefully we are actually able to grab out a bunch of Executes again, just because those are very, very important Pokemon just for us to actually be able to deal out a lot of damage. So Lysander's trump card, definitely one of the biggest weaknesses to our type of deck, but I think it's okay. I definitely think we can still make a comeback, and we absolutely have a relatively nice advantage over our opponent. So let's go right ahead and attach the Plasma Energy to our Weavile. I'm gonna go right ahead and place the Deoxys. Actually, no, I'm not gonna place the Deoxys EX. I feel like Jirachi EX is going to be a more crucial Pokemon right now. So let's go right ahead and use them. And I'm gonna go and actually grab out a Colress. I don't necessarily want to give up the cards in our hand, so let's go and do that. Or should I actually grab out the Skyla? That would actually be another viable option, but I don't think we would be able to do enough damage to knock out the opponent's Pokemon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we would be 10 damage short, unfortunately, from knocking out our opponent's Pokemon. Let's see, is that the right choice to do? You know what? I'm gonna unfortunately have to forsake the Skyla for now and grab out a Colress. Really just hoping that we get a couple of our Plasma Balls or our Ultra Balls. So let's go right ahead and grab out the Colress and shuffle up for a new set of cards in our hand. Okay, so definitely doesn't look like I actually made the right choice. And okay, so I'm actually just gonna go and use the Hail attack to do 30 damage, I believe. Not a lot, but fortunately for us, our Weavile is strong enough to survive an attack, and yeah, unfortunately that's it. I definitely should have grabbed out the Skyla, but I was really hoping that we could grab out some Ultra Balls. I mean, we have so many cards to get our Exeggcutes into our discard pile. It just looks like our opponent's getting very lucky, and we're getting very unlucky with respects to getting the cards that we need. So it looks like our opponent's actually going to use the Escape Rope. I guess I'm going to go right ahead and bring out the Sneasel. Yeah, I don't see any of his Pokemon actually being able to perform a one-hit knockout on us, so that's okay. And if anything, I can absolutely use the switch on our turn as well to bring out our Weavile and perform the one-hit knockout on our opponent's Mew EX, because I'm absolutely going to use the Skyla this time around, or not. But luckily we are actually able to grab out a Battle Compressor, so that's absolutely nice. But unfortunately we've just lost the switch right now, so that's not something particularly nice. But it's okay. We still do have the advantage. We've drawn out more prize cards compared to our opponent. Okay, it looks like he's actually going to bring out the Virizion EX again. But again, none of his Pokemon are actually able to perform a one-hit knockout on our Weavile during our opponent's turn. So that's definitely nice. So we will absolutely be able to survive at the very bare minimum one attack. So that's very nice. So let's go right ahead and use the Battle Compressor, guys, to get our Exeggcutes into our discard pile. So that's one Exeggcute, and there should be two more in there. One of our Exeggcutes are unfortunately prized, but that's okay. Hopefully it shouldn't be too big of an issue. So let's go right ahead and find the last Exeggcute and send him into our discard pile. I'm gonna go and attach the Silver Bangle to our Virizion EX, just because it's such a important card. Let's go right ahead and use Propagation just to bring our Exeggcutes into our hand, and I'm gonna go right ahead and use the Ultra Ball and put another Sneasel into our bench. So again, this is another place where the Propagation Exeggcutes come in very handy, just allowing us to use our Ultra Balls without actually having to discard any cards. So that's very nice. So let's go right ahead and bring out these Pokemon into our hand once again, and perform the one-hit knockout on our opponent's Virizion EX. So let's go and use Vilify for more than enough damage, and draw out another two prize cards. And looks like we're actually able to grab out our final Exeggcute. So if our opponent's actually unable to knock out our Weavile this turn, looks like we're actually going to be able to win the next turn. I feel like that's going to be the case. None of his Pokemon are... oh, okay, so it looks like our opponent actually is going to bring out the Shaman EX. So he will actually be able to perform the one-hit knockout for us. Okay, so it looks like this is becoming a pretty intense and difficult game. Unfortunately, our opponent's Mew EX will be able to attack for a lot of damage just because of the Dimension Valley card. I'm unfortunately going to have to bring out our Sneasel just because our opponent only needs two more prize cards to win. Okay, so it looks like we're actually able to grab out a Colress, so that's absolutely nice. Unfortunately, our Colress machine is not going to be useful right now because our Sneasel is not a Team Plasma Pokemon, so I'm going to go right ahead and use the Colress to draw out more cards in our hand, and hopefully we have what we need to win. And unfortunately we don't just yet, so I'm gonna go and actually start powering up one of our Deoxys EXs. So let's go right ahead and place a Deoxys EX down, and I'm going to go and attach the Rainbow Energy to our Deoxys EX, and with that I'm going to have to end our turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't actually have a Lysander, because I mean that would mean that it's the game. But nonetheless, guys, this was a very good game. Our opponent was able to edge out on us. Looks like the Lysander's trump card was ultimately the card that may have sealed our fate. I'm really hoping that that's not the case, but we'll see. If I'm actually able to grab out our last prize card, that'd absolutely be pretty amazing. I'd definitely be very happy. But again, let's see. The Shaman EX is a very annoying Pokemon right now. Hopefully we are able to make a comeback. I'm assuming our opponent, yes, looks like he's actually going to grab out the N, and it looks like we grabbed out a battle compressor. If we actually don't grab out a okay, so I feel like our fate is pretty much sealed right now. I don't really think we can do much right now. I mean, unless we get a Juniper or something like that. Yeah, unfortunately, this Weavile deck may not have performed just the right amount of damage that we actually needed. So I'm gonna go and bring out our Deoxys EX. It looks like our opponent was very lucky towards the end of this game. Let me see if there's anything at all I can do. And no, I don't even have any more Weaviles in our deck. Okay, so I'm just gonna go and end our turn. Yeah, unfortunately that's it, guys. Looks like we are going to lose. This was a very good game, and yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, my apologies for my voice, just because again, I'm sick. I'm sorry, I've repeated that so many times. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll absolutely be releasing a booster pack opening video for you guys soon, hopefully as soon as my voice gets a little bit better. And okay, so our opponent's actually going to hit us 400, and let's just see what we spin. Okay, so it looks like that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.